Good morning and welcome to your Friday Faith Fill Up. There's a financial term that you're probably familiar with, and that is to diversify. I can barely say it. To diversify, that is to spread out your finances, your investments to many different areas. And the main purpose of diversifying is for security. And so it's best if you have money in these many different places and you're investing there. So if this one crashes, then you have the security of the other ones that haven't crashed, and it makes sense in finance, and it's a good thing. But in the spiritual world, that is a big problem that I think people have, that they want to try and diversify. To put it bluntly, sometimes the thinking is, I'm going to trust God plus, or I'm going to trust God and I'm going to do this, just in case, diversifying in a spiritual sense. Psalm 62, and there's three verses in Psalm 62 that really jumped out at me. Verse number 2 says, He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be greatly moved. A few verses later, verse number 5, My soul, wait thou only upon God, for my expectation is from him. The next verse, He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be moved. He only is the phrase that is there a couple of times, and then wait thou only. That tells us there from the psalmist, that only means only. It means singular. It means there's only one. And so all of our hope, all of our expectation, and all of our confidence should be in God, in Him alone, nothing else. No just in case, no, well, what if this happens? It's solely in Him. He has always been our shelter. We should be able to trust Him. Why? Because He's always been our shelter, and we can rest in Him. That's what the psalmist is getting at. But one thing that he says there is, My soul, wait thou only upon God, for my expectation is from Him. I think a lot of our disappointments in life are really closely tied to our expectations. We have expectations of all of these things, that we want them to happen a certain way, and that's what we're going to expect. But the psalmist here is saying what we ought to be doing is waiting upon Him, because He is where our expectation lies, not in what we can dream up. So He only, again, when it comes to our expectations, He's the only one. We need to be waiting upon Him and depending upon Him for what is there. But we find ourselves many times depending upon the securities in this world, whether it be the financial securities, the security of a home, the security of maybe some of the relationships that we have, security in so many different areas that we have on this earth that we look at, and if we don't have that, we're not going to make it. Well, again, He only is my rock. He is the only one that's there, and we need to really learn how to make it to where we don't diversify, that we put all of our emphasis in Him. We realize that at salvation, He only, it says here, He only is my salvation. There is nothing else. There is no other hope anywhere else. So we understood it there. Now we need to take that and apply it to every other area of our life. He only is enough when it comes to my finances. He only is enough when it comes to my relationships. He only is enough when it comes to all of the frustrations and difficulties of life. We need to stop trying to add something to God and realize He is more than enough. Wait upon God. Those verses end with a couple of thoughts. I shall not be greatly moved. My expectation is from Him, and I shall not be moved. Listen, if our confidence is in Him, and our hope is in Him, our expectation is Him, we're standing on good ground. We don't have to worry about that market crashing. Let's stop diversifying and just trust God and trust Him alone in our lives. I hope this is a blessing to you. We'll see you on Sunday morning.